Hey there everybody, this is Mockingbird and this is episode 2 of Guild Wars 2 Fix. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at a build that I've been using in PvP in Guild Wars 2. Since I made this video, I've actually played with this build a lot and I found that I do prefer a tankier version of this that invests about 20 points into defense, but whatever you want to do is fine by me. I mean, everybody has their own playstyle. So without any further ado guys, go ahead and check out the video. What's up guys, this is Mockingbird here, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at my new build for the Warrior. This build is kind of a spur of the moment type thing, so I'm not going to go into everything like I did with the all-purpose Warrior build, but I still wanted to show it to you guys so you could check it out. The difference between this build and the last build that I showcased is that this build is basically only used for PvP. In addition to that, it's kind of the opposite when it comes to PvP, and the fact that the last build was based around CC and this build is based around incredibly fast damage. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys all the different things that I used for this build, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it and you can check it out. So we're going to start by looking at the traits here. In the traits I go 10, 30 into arms, and 30 into discipline. This is kind of open to negotiation because I haven't run all the math on it, but it's what I'm using right now and it's what I find to work best for me, and everybody has their own playstyle, so everybody can figure it out for themselves basically. But your other build options are maybe a 20, 20, 30 or a 30, 30, 20, but it's really up to you. Okay, so I start out taking Berserker's Power, which is 2 to 5% increased damage depending on my adrenaline. This is a really good trait to take. It's a flat damage increase basically all the time, and although you are going to be using your burst skills quite frequently, it doesn't really matter because you're also going to be gaining adrenaline very quickly. Next is Deep Cuts, which makes bleeds last 50% longer. The point of Deep Cuts is to make it so that your opener with your duo swords is effective. Your Impale is going to last 50% longer, so it's going to be lasting 18 seconds. Your Sever Artery is going to last longer, and your Riposte, whatever, is going to last longer as well. It makes it so that when you switch to your axes, the bleed damage still is going on, and it's very effective. Next is Deep Strikes. Some of you may remember this from the all-purpose Warrior build. This is a incredible trait. It's 40 precision for each unused signet, and the signets are just as good on this build as they are on any other. I'm taking 3 signets, which is basically the equivalent to 10 additional points in arms, and it's just, I can't really describe how good this is for warriors right now. Next is Blade Master, which is increased crit damage with swords by 10%. Now this is the trait that is kind of up to negotiation in the arms. It's whether or not you actually need to take this. What you could do is not take this and instead take, where is it? Here, Weapon Specialization, which is 5% increased damage with both of your weapon sets in this build all the time. But I find that crit works well with this build, especially because of your increased crit damage here and your already incredibly high amount of precision. In addition to this, build momentum isn't nearly as good as attack opportunity when it comes to this build. This is just leagues and leagues above this. So moving into Discipline, Discipline is an incredible, I guess, talent tree to go into, because of the 30% crit damage, which is insane. I mean, 10% crit damage is the same thing that you get from going Grandmaster into Strength. I mean, it's this exact same thing, except in addition to this, you're also going to pick up 2% crit chance for 1 stage of Adrenaline, 5% for 2 stages, and 9% for 3 stages. And in addition, you're also picking up Versatile Strikes, which is amazing for this build. Next is Fast Hands and Signet Mastery. Fast Hands reduce weapon swap cooldown is incredibly good for this build because of the amount of times that you may want to switch back and forth and thus combo with this and thus combo with this. Signet Mastery works well with Deep Strikes, just like I said in the all-purpose warrior build, because it helps you get these back off of cooldown if you need them. So for example, if I had to use Signet of Rage, I would be getting it back 25% faster, and I would thus gain my 40 precision back 25% faster. Next is Versatile Power, which is where you gain Might on weapon swap. Once again, we're comboing off on all of these traits. And then you have Quick Burst. Now here's the thing, is burst skill cooldown reduced by 20%. Debatably, you could take, where is it? Here, Sharpened Axes instead, or you could take this 10 points and put it into Strength. It's really up to you, but I find that this is what works best for me. Last, so this but is what certainly not least, is my utility skills. I take Heal Signet. Now, here's the thing. Taking Healing Signet gives you 40% precision, but you have no condition removal in this entire build. So if you want, you can take Mending, and this isn't a bad call. Sometimes I will take Mending if I feel like I'm being CC'd too much. So, but Heal Signet is what's going to be best for DPS. If that's all you're looking at is min-maxing, Heal Signet's gotta be best. Next I take Full Charge. Similar to my last warrior build, this is incredibly good for fleeing enemies. It's just great for chasing people, and that's one thing that this build really needs is gap close. Throw Bolus, throws a bolus to immobilize your foes. This is great as well. If somebody's trying to run away and you used Bull Charge to interrupt them during the fight, this is kind of like a second Bull Charge when comboed with Savage Leap. Signet of Fury is a signet that I didn't take on the all-purpose warrior build, but it's very good, and sometimes I do take it on the all-purpose build. This is improved precision passively, which is really good, and gain adrenaline active, and basically you almost never use this for the adrenaline. It's just passive precision and more passive precision. And then last is Signet of Rage, the elite. Passively, you gain adrenaline, which is obviously really good, and actively you gain Might, Fury, and Swiftness, obviously amazing. So these two signets you're going to use quite a bit, but you have them up faster because of Signet Mastery. So now that I've been over just how the build works, let's go ahead and see some combat with this. This build's incredibly good at taking out squishier enemies and killing them before they can kill your team. You start with a Impale into a Savage Leap, into a Hamstring, and then you block an attack, and then apply your bleed again, and then you switch weapons. So we're going to go ahead and start this off here. And that's basically it. I did mess this up a little in the axe section, as I'm sure some of you will notice, but it wasn't that bad. You lead in the axe section with a dual strike in order to gain your 2 seconds of 40% crit chance whenever you go into your Cyclone. And then after your Cyclone, depending on what happens, you either Eviscerate to close the gap and try to finish, or you Whirlwind into Eviscerate. So it really kind of depends on the situation, but that's the basic. Alright guys, that does it for episode 2 of Guild Wars 2 Fix. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that you guys try this build out, because I've had a lot of fun using it myself. I'm sorry if in today's episode I seemed kind of flustered while trying to do the audio, but I've just sort of been struggling to push out new video content, and also to, you know, have a job, which is no good. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy this kind of stuff that I'm doing. If so, go ahead and like or subscribe, or just spread the word to your friends. Next week's episode is going to feature some not warrior exclusive content. I feel like I've been focusing a lot on that, and I do have some really fun and kind of silly thief builds that I'd like to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you next week.